Yes, I took my Nclex today, October 24th. I just got done with it. Like, I literally just got out and I just got done. My brain is like all over the place. I don't even know how to feel. My emotions are kind of like weird. It's just weird. It's just a weird as experience. It's just a weird ass roller coaster experience. I had planned to wake up early. Like, I wanted to wake up at 8 in the morning. I wanted to actually go for a run. I wanted to make myself breakfast. I actually even wanted to review some of my notes this morning. I know they say not to do that, but I was like, I'm going to review my notes at least one last time. I had this whole thing planned out for the morning so that I can leave my house at 11 to make it to my Nclex test site at 12. Girl, that did not work out in my favor. I did none of those things. Like, I was so anxious about my test that I could not go to sleep, like, for the life of me. I think I fell asleep like at 3 in the morning. I was like, hating myself. But I didn't wake up early enough to do any of the things I wanted to do. I didn't go for a run. I did make myself breakfast. I had time for that, but I didn't have like this relaxing morning the day of. So it's your girl Tanya, and I'm back at it again with yet another video that I didn't even think I was capable of making. I kept debating if I wanted to even make this video just because it's so vulnerable, probably the most vulnerable video that I have on my channel, and also disappointing, upsetting, embarrassing. Like, it's a lot. Like, there's a lot of emotions that are gonna go into this video, and I like kept going back and forth if I wanted to even share that with you guys. But just because I went through a huge like depression after this first failed attempt, I went through a really bad depression where I just felt like the lowest of the lows. You guys just saw the clip of my first failed attempt. My first failed attempt. Yes, girl, I said my first. That means it was not the only one. After I found out that I had failed that first time, I went home and I couldn't even like face my kids. I couldn't face my family. I went home, I went to bed, I cried for hours. I was just feeling like all sorts of emotions, mostly denial, because I just couldn't believe that I failed, because I was so confident. Like, I was so confident that I was gonna pass, even though looking back, that first attempt, I for sure was not prepared. Even though I really thought I was, now, after everything that I've done since then, I know that I was not prepared that first time. But I think I was just so confident because everybody else was passing. All of my classmates were passing, and people were saying, oh yeah, you just have to do UWorld, just do UWorld. And that's exactly what I did. I did UWorld all day, every day. I also listened to Mark K. I basically did what everyone told me to do, and everyone that told me to do those things were passing. So I thought, I'm set, I should be good. So when I didn't pass that first time, it was heartbreaking. It was really heartbreaking. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't study after that. Like, it was so hard for me to even think about anything nursing. Like, I was devastated. I really was devastated. So basically what happens when you fail the Nclex, they give you 45 days to retest. So I had 45 days from the day that I failed to take the test again, and I had to pay another $200 again. And that first time I was not motivated at all. I was mostly just depressed, and I got really bad where I didn't want to talk to anybody. I like isolated myself. I started drinking a lot like within that period. And I say this because I want to be open with you guys, but it is something like super vulnerable to me because it was something really hard that I went through. But I started drinking a lot more than normal, than I usually did, because I was just trying to kind of just like cope. Like, it was so hard for me to cope. And I know it's just a test, and everyone's like, well, you can just take it again, you could take it again. But I had a job lined up in the ICU at that time, and I was like ready to start working. Like, I had made a plan, And if you guys know me, I'm all about planning. Like, I like to plan my life ahead of time. I like to know what's gonna happen. And I had a plan. My plan was to graduate. My plan was to take the Nclex a month or two the most after my graduation, and to start in the ICU, which I had talked about in my channel, which is that I had told you guys that's what I had planned on doing. So when things didn't go as planned, I just felt like so lost and confused, and I was like, what the hell? So it took me a while to get myself together. Around this time was like the holidays, so I had planned on taking my second attempt right before New Year's, but that was a big mistake because I had the holidays coming up. Like, I wasn't working. Like, I was struggling really hard, like financially, and Christmas is coming. I need to get gifts for my kids, and I can't start my job. The ICU position did say that they were going to hold my position until I passed. So they were waiting on me, and therefore it just gave me so much more pressure to pass. And I think just with the pressure, with the stress, with the depression, with the holidays, like with the no job, like I just didn't do well with it. Like, I did not do well with all that stress. That time was the hardest. I think the first time it was hard because I took a whole month off. I didn't study for a whole month. I basically just felt sorry for myself. The whole month of November, I was feeling sorry for myself. The beginning of December, I was feeling sorry for myself. I didn't start studying until like mid-December. I started up again because I was like, okay, Tanya, you need to pass before 2023. Because I need this job, right? Like, not only do I want this job, not only did I work my ass off to get to this point, but I financially need this job. So I started studying like kind of like right after my birthday. And
today is the day. This is my second attempt at Nclex RN, and today is the day. I am passing this test, no questions asked. It's happening. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm walking out as a nurse today. It has been a very, very long journey for me. It was not one and done, but you know what? Delayed but not denied. Failure is part of success. Whoop-de-whoop, blah, blah, blah. I'm super pumped and so excited to go get this license. I just got done with my Nclex, and I don't know why, but I'm just like so emotional. Like, I don't know my result yet, but I'm just so emotional for some reason. Like, that shit was wild. Like, it was so wild. I got all 145 questions. I can't even remember what the questions were at this point because I was so hyper focused and it was all just like a blur. I feel confident, but at the same time, the first time I took this test, I also felt confident and I failed. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I don't know. I'm just so emotional for some reason.
that second time, I was so freaking close. I think that's what pisses me off. I was so close. I got to 145 questions, which means that the computer was giving me chances and chances and chances. If you guys don't know how the Nclex works, maybe I'll make a video about how it works. But right now I can't do that video because I'm still traumatized by the Nclex and I still freaking hate the Nclex. So I'm not making any Nclex videos until this whole chapter of my life is closed. But once it is closed, trust me, I know a lot about the Nclex because I've been dealing with this monster for 6 months. But basically the second time, I was really close because when you fail the Nclex, they send you a report of how you did in each area. And in each area, I was near passing, near passing, near passing, near passing. Like I didn't get any below passing the second time around. So it really pisses me off because I don't know what happened. I was so close and I really did feel like I did 100 times better than the first time. But I failed. I failed again. And I guess failing the second time, I don't even know which one was worse, the first or the second time. It's all a blur, to be honest. But failing the second time, I want to say I found out, oh yeah, I found out New Year's Day, because I had taken it like New Year's Eve or something. I took it right before 2023 because I was in such a hurry to pass this exam before the new year started because I wanted to start the new year with my license. And that was my plan. And I think a lot of it, now looking back at it, I think a lot of it was because I rushed myself. Like I just kept rushing myself. I knew that I could have took more time to study, but the holidays had just ended, New Year's was coming up, and I kind of just felt like I was on this like time crunch, like I have to pass, especially because that job was waiting for me. And when I didn't pass the second time, I was just like, what is wrong with me? Like I was feeling depressed, but I wasn't as depressed as the first time. I think the second time, I kind of was like, okay, Tanya, you can't waste any more time. Pick yourself back up. Like I got back on the studying a lot faster the second time around just because I was like, all right, you can't take a whole month off to be sad. Like you can't do that anymore. So I started studying again. January 2023, I started preparing for my third attempt at this motherfucking Nclex. Like seriously.
Now, the big one here, and we'll talk about this towards the end of the lecture. We've talked about this. This one, all I want you to know is that you can use it for atrial dysrhythmias. You've got A, B, C, D for atrial fibrillation.
You want that reassurance. You want that routine. You want them with the parents resting overnight. You want that same ritual. You want to make sure that you have the same things going on. Give them choices because they're going to want to say no, 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 no. Do you want this or this? Bring everything from home.
That comes underneath there is going to be outpatient. So really, these are the main topics that come out in basic care and comfort. So with inpatient, I'm not going to get into it today, and I'm not going to get into outpatient today. I'm going to try and cover as much as I can with the other topics. With these different religions, what are some things, what are some of the more important things that you're going to see when you're dealing with religion?
I literally failed my third freaking attempt. I failed my third attempt. Like at this point, I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, there has to be something wrong with me. I don't know if it's the anxiety. I don't know if I'm studying the wrong things. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, to be honest. And the crazy part is that this third attempt, my computer shut off at 75 questions. And if you know anything about the Nclex, that means that if you failed at 75 questions, that means that I did worse than the first time. I did worse than the first time, even after all of those hours of studying, after all of the notes, after all of the lectures. Like, it was wild to me. Like, I was in denial. I literally thought there was something wrong with the computer. I was like, there has to be something wrong with their system. Like, for real, I was like, this has to be a mistake. I was waiting for the board of nursing to send me a message saying that they made an error. Like, for real. I was like, that's how in denial I was at this point. Just because I put in so much work and I knew so much content. Like, it's just so upsetting, you know. It's still upsetting, but I've taken time to just accept, you know, my reality. I've accepted where I'm at in life, and I can't feel sorry for myself. I can't wish that it was different, because it's not. So all I can do is accept the reality and move forward and create a new plan and think of new strategies and figure out where I went wrong and reevaluate myself. That's all I can really do. But yeah, that third time, I'm like, seriously? Like, I'm going backwards. I really feel like I'm going backwards. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at in life right now. And it's pretty freaking sad. But it's okay, because this too shall pass. Literally, this too shall pass. This is just another storm that I'm going through. It's just another bump along the road. But this one is not just a little bump. This is not a speed bump. This is a freaking mountain type of a bump. Like, this is like Rocky Mountains type of bumps, you know, because it's been tough. It's been really tough. And the thing that sucks about what I'm going through right now is that I just feel like my life is on pause. Like, I feel like I'm in this weird transition that I can't get to the other side. Like, it's weird because I have a bachelor's degree. Like, I have a bachelor's degree in nursing. It's literally right up there. Like, my degree is right up there. I have a BSN. I worked my ass off for that BSN, but I can't work as a nurse because I don't have a freaking license, because I can't pass this freaking exam. Like, it's so frustrating to be in the position that I'm in. When I think about it, it's crazy, and I'm actually very proud of myself for being able to even make this video, because it's very hard. Not only very hard to deal with, but like very hard to talk about. There's a lot of people that don't pass, but the internet doesn't talk about the people that don't pass. The internet only talks about people passing in 75 questions, people passing on their first time. So when that's all you see on the internet, it discourages you. Like, for someone like me, like, I have really bad test taking anxiety, and I know that is the reason why I'm not passing. Like, I know my shit. Like, I know my content, especially now more than ever. I know my shit. The first time, I will admit, I probably was very weak in content. The second time, I was on it. The third time, I knew the content that I needed to know for this exam. But I think what I'm struggling in is test taking strategies and test anxiety. Like, especially now, since the stakes are so high, I have so much pressure on me to pass this exam. I feel like my anxiety just like takes over, and it's causing me anxiety not only during the test, but it's causing me anxiety like every single day. Like, it's been really rough to go through this. I've been through a lot of shit in my life, but I can honestly say this is probably the hardest thing I've gone through. I haven't really been on the internet very much, but even with like friends and family, I've been so isolated because I feel like I'm going through this alone. And I know that I'm not, because I know there's a lot of people out there that have trouble passing this exam. So it's not unheard of, but it still doesn't make it any easier. It really doesn't. And like I said, I wasn't sure if I wanted to put this video out there because it's so like vulnerable, but I figured that I might as well, because I share a lot of my life on the internet, and this whole channel is basically like my nursing journey. And I've showed you guys my ups and my downs. And if I didn't show you this part of what I'm going through, then I think I would just be a fake person. And I don't want to be that. Like, I don't want to be a fake person. Like, I'm being real with y'all. It's been really, really hard. I don't know why this exam is like my enemy right now. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, every time I go in there, I feel like so prepared. I feel so ready. When I leave, I feel confident, and then I get a fail. And it's just so heartbreaking every single time. I've cried over this. I've prayed over this. It's been hard, and it's hard because I know that I put in all the work. Like, I know that I put in work. I know that I deserve this. And it's been testing my patience. It's been testing my faith, everything. So yeah, it has been quite a journey for me since I graduated. But you know what? I'm still hanging on. I still have faith. I still have hope. I'm not gonna give up. Of course, I can't. There's like no giving up. I don't even have that option. Really the pressure that gets to me. But I am learning to let go of that and just let God do his work. Like, it's gonna happen when it's meant to happen, and I can't rush things. It's God's timing. I do have a remote job now, so I'm working from home, thank God. And now that I'm working from home, I don't have that stress of that financial burden where I feel like I have to pass because then I can't work. So now that I have work and I can work from home, I can also study. So I have a feeling that that is gonna relieve a lot of my stress. And this next time, I'm just gonna take my time. I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna gather all of the things that I did my previous attempts, and I'm gonna see what worked and what didn't work. I'm just gonna have faith. I'm gonna keep my prayers going. I'm gonna have faith in God and just have faith in myself. If you're watching this and you have failed the Nclex, trust me, girl, you are not alone. I am with you. It's hard, it's tough, and it's something that people won't understand unless they've gone through it. But you know what? We are so strong because we keep getting up. We keep getting up and trying again. Like, knock me down 10 times, I'll get back 11. Like, for real. Like, that's just the type of person I am, and it just makes you stronger. So I'm just hoping that one day my testimony can just help somebody else. Right now, I'm still currently going through it, but hopefully in the near future, I can post a video and let you guys know how I passed and what I did differently. So, but in the meantime, I'm still in this weird transition period, but I just wanted to make this video to update you guys because I know a lot of you guys send me messages and ask me how I'm doing, and I'm so sorry that I've been isolated because, you know, I've just been going through the motions, but I'm here. I'm here. I am trying my best. I am gonna stay positive, and I just want to thank you guys for all the love and support. Reading through your comments actually helps me a lot, like a lot. It brings my spirits up, so I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Bye.